So after reading comments on my last Stalker 2 video, I just really wanted to clarify just a few things. But first, we did just hit 8,000 subscribers, and of course we are now already on the way to 9,000. So it would be really cool if we did hit 9K by September, which would be amazing. So there's a few things that people were asking about Stalker 2 that I wanted to talk about in this video in my last comment section. Firstly, Stalker 2 will not have co-op. There will be a multiplayer aspect to it, but it will be a PvP oriented experience with different game modes. Even in the pre-orders, you can see that player costumes and weapon skins are part of those bundles to showcase during something like a team deathmatch game mode. But will the eventuality of co-op be a thing? Well, who knows? I've heard rumors through others in the community that it might come later. But I remember about 2 years ago where the game director himself mentioned that apparently adding co-op will ruin the experience of overcoming the difficulties on your own, which in my opinion doesn't really make sense. I mean, what about the factions in the zone? What about Strelok's group? Or even just doing quests with other stalkers? Sure, are the loners the most trustworthy group? Hell no. They backstab each other all the time, and they even put bounties on one another for not paying back their debts, especially Sidorovich. But this might be fixed eventually by the addition of mods, with the mod support that will be coming on day 1 of the PC release. And that brings me to my second point. Will modding be good for Stalker 2? Modding has been somewhat of a controversial topic within the Stalker community for a bit. There are those who see mods as the peak of Stalker and the experience within the zone, and others will completely tear you down if you didn't play the original games on a Dell computer. There are also those who don't really care how you experience the zone as long as you are having a good time, which is kind of where I fit in. I just want to be immersed in the zone all the time. I myself was introduced to the Stalker game franchise through mods such as Stalker Anomaly and the various other mod packs. And maybe want to know more about the lore and the zone, to the point where I bought the original 3 games on Steam. I bought the book Roadside Picnic, and I even rewatched the 1979 film Stalker, since I did watch it way back when it was on VHS. But of course, back then I didn't realize what Stalker was about. I didn't know the history of Roadside Picnic, and I didn't have a good PC to play the original Stalker games. I was completely hooked. And some people think that modding will ruin Stalker 2, and in actuality, it won't even affect the game if you don't want it to. That's the greatest thing about mods. You don't have to install them. Now, did modding possibly have an influence on certain game mechanics during the development of Stalker 2? Maybe, possibly. Now, apparently there is a backpack animation when opening and closing your inventory, which I do see a lot in immersive Stalker mods. But that doesn't mean Stalker 2 will be Stalker Anomaly 2 or Stalker Gamma 2. Stalker 2 will just be a continuation of the story after the events of the original games. And that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to the story of Stalker, and I'm sure plenty of you guys are as well. Now, another thing that I worried about and I saw a lot in the comments is the performance of the game on day 1. Most games nowadays are notoriously known for launching in a almost non-playable state. Everything from Cyberpunk 2 to Battlefield 2042, and really just any games in between, everything from AAA to indie, each with its own slew of issues. It's a bit nerve-wracking when another highly anticipated game gets a launch date, especially one that's been delayed over and over again. But you also had to remember the situation that GSC has gone through, with the conflict in Ukraine to moving studios completely, and even working with Unreal Engine 5, which has its own issues. It has had plenty of reasons to delay, but also I feel like gamers are tired of just receiving half-baked games on release. So it really is just a really tough and thin line to walk in regards to Stalker 2's release. Reports of demos that showcases with issues of screen tearing and just weird bugs to having to completely restart the demo. It just makes me a bit nervous about the eventual outcome of this game. I always do say though, expect the worst, but hope for the best. And this time is no different. Of course, a ton of you are excited, and I'm sure some of you are saying, well, bugs are what make the Stalker experience. And while that may be the case for the old engine, I'm very curious to see how this game runs on both mid to high-end PCs and of course consoles, since making a game for console and PCs is vastly different from just making a PC only title. Basically, to sum it all up, I believe nearly everyone, including brand new stalkers to the zone, understand the situation with Stalker 2 and its development, and realize that this will not be a gamified or modded version of Stalker. It is a continuation of the story with a new look, all within the place we call the zone. I'm really excited to get my hands on it, and I will be streaming it day one, so stay tuned, as well as recording to make videos on it. Hopefully my PC can handle doing both things at once, but we will have to wait and see. Of course, if you did end up enjoying this video, please hit that like button as it helps me out and the channel, and subscribe since we are on our way now to 9,000 subscribers. I will see you on the next video. Till next time, peace.